Hi everyone, I think I am now live. I'm just going to very quickly been putting just some links about, just so you guys can kind of find me and join in. Let me have a look. I'm going to also get the chat up, so give me all a second. Now I'm going to title this Showing and Telling My Divination Tools Live. Copy and paste. So this is basically what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be showing and telling my divination tools, which I think is pretty cool. Last week I showed and told my witchy tools. So this week I thought that I would show my regular tools, I guess. Now I'm just trying to get the chat up because I know that there's people in the chat saying, speaking and talking. Noah Tempestari says hello. Noah Tempestari, I'm going to be making you a moderator. I hope you don't mind. So that is all good to go, I believe. This is just really hard. I'm getting puffed out and tired from doing this. Sitting on the floor and leaning, my arms are getting tired. Poor baby. Hello, Willow Moonshine, Random Witch. Hello. Thank you very much, Noah. I hope that we don't get any trolls in here today, but my channel has been somewhat plagued with them recently, as you would have seen. But let us sit and wait. Random Witch, can I also make you a moderator if you wouldn't mind? Many hands make light work. Therefore, if we're all in this together, we're all in this together. We can get rid of the trolls if they come, but they won't come. Think positive, they won't come. Anyway, guys, so thank you, darling. Please excuse me. Random is here. Trolls shall not enter. That is very true. Very true, Mr. Noah. I've got two awesome people now who are my moderators who will not let any trolls pass. So thank you very much for that, guys. Please excuse me as well. I woke up with a really sore throat as I was telling Noah this morning, and I don't know. I think I'm coming down with something. I just feel really tired all the time. I've got a really sore throat, and I've got oodles and oodles of university homework and assignments that I need to upload by Friday, which probably isn't going to happen because I'm sitting here doing live hangouts on YouTube, so we shall see. Anyway, I've got today and tomorrow off, so hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get shit done. Alrighty. So last week I did a live and I showed you my witchy tools, my extensive range of witchy tools, or the tools that I use most in my craft. But today I thought that I would show you some of my divination tools, or the divination tools that I own and use a lot, or would like to use more often, because witches are those types of people. Well, I definitely am. I don't want to speak for all witches, but I'm the type of person that wants to have lots of different things before I know actually how or when or why I'm going to use them. So the first case of that is this black scrying mirror, which I actually made. They're super easy to make. It literally is just an old photo frame that is painted black, and you just paint the back of the glass. This frame didn't actually have a backing, so what you can do also is paint the cardboard or the wooden backing of the photo frame black, as well as painting the glass black. So this took a couple of coats. For the glass, it probably took about 4 or 5 coats just to get it so black that you can't even like see anything through it. And that's definitely the kind of aim that you want to kind of go for, is that you don't really want to be able to see anything on the other side. This the law is that it's not allowed to be touched by sunlight, and this hasn't been touched directly. Obviously, like, it's daytime outside, but the law is you're not meant to have it touched by sunlight. It's only ever been meant to be touched by the light of the moon. So there is a specific kind of ritual that I want to do for this mirror. I haven't used it yet. There is a specific ritual that you are meant to do on a full moon that I want to do with it. It's also traditional to place some snake skin on the back. Excuse me. And I've got some snakes in, so I'm going to do that. But I want to enchant this mirror because I love it. And I do love black mirrors. I just think the idea is incredible. And I would have black mirrors around my home. It's fully reflective. I can see myself clearly. So I would have them up and about on my walls if I could, but I don't want people spying on me. So along the similar lines of things that I don't have, or things that I have but don't really use, is my crystal ball. It's a beautiful big crystal ball, and I absolutely love it. I've had it for years and years and years. I made my grandparents buy me one. It wasn't very expensive. It's not crystal, it's glass, but still, there are no imperfections in it, and it was, I think, $25 or $35 from memory. But it's really nice, and I love it. It just kind of adds to that aesthetic, and it's got a cute little like brassy looking stand, which is kind of cool. So I've done a little bit of research into crystal ball scrying and things like that, and I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I haven't really tried it, but I've definitely kind of researched and looked into it. Hi, Storm. So yeah, I don't know. It's probably something that I maybe will kind of look into using, but I just like looking at it. It's just so pretty. Just so pretty. The other thing that I wanted to show you guys is my rune stones. So I've got this little pouch of rune stones and just like a little card that came with them. And I got amethyst rune stones. Not sure whether you'll be able to see them, but they're really pretty. And I like amethyst. Amethyst is my birthstone, and I really connect with it well regardless. But I wanted to get my rune stones in amethyst for that whole kind of, for the psychic kind of properties of that amethyst has. So I really like the runes. I don't really use them a lot for divination. I do sometimes for clients, but I use the runes more often than not in my spell work, which I think is really a really cool thing to do. Along the lines of crystals, I'm going to show you my pendulums. Now I've got two actual pendulums. This is the first one that I'll show you. It's got a little bit of a fluff on it. Let me just flick over here so I can show you guys. But it's really, I'm just trying to get it in the light. It's a citrine. And it is really nice. It's really pretty. There's lots of little inclusions and little rainbows and flares and things in here. That was quite expensive to buy, but oh well, it was pretty. And I originally bought it for someone. So I had a clear quartz, one of these in a similar style, and I originally bought this one to give to someone, but I liked this one better, so I palmed off my clear quartz. And I keep it in this cute little chest. How cute is this little chest? I keep my pendulums in this little chest. How cute is it? It was my mum's. I don't know what it was for, but oh, so this is from this little chest. I've actually never noticed this before, but this little chest is from Denver, Colorado. You probably can't see that, but my mum traveled the US when she was younger. And obviously she picked this up in Denver. So if anyone's in Denver, I've got a little something from you guys, so thank you. And then I got this one as well, which is really beautiful. This was handmade by Earthly Alchemy, Elder Crow, and his lovely partner, Jackson, who own and run Earthly Alchemy. I got this in one of their witch subscription boxes for Samhain or Halloween, along with a pendulum board that they made as well. And that's got a little pentacle to hold on to. So that's a really cool one. I really like this one. I like how the crystal's quite raw. So those are my two like actual pendulums, but I will use a lot of different things as just kind of makeshift pendulums. A lot of my necklaces I will use as pendulums. If need be, you can suspend like a needle or a button on some string or some thread. So that's that. But those are my pendulums. Next, I'll get this big thing out of the way. So next, I'm going to show you my spirit board. I do kind of categorize this as a divination tool because you can use this, you know, in a whole matter of ways to gain answers and things. So I definitely do regard this as a divination tool. But let me take the glass actually comes off. So I'll take the glass off so you can kind of see it better. But it's absolutely gorgeous. Got my two little bunnies on there, two little hares and rabbits. And it's got like some inscriptions in the back, just kind of basic instructions. Not the best instructions, but you know, any instructions is probably better than anyone kind of going in blind. And that's made from a resin, made to look like wood. And this is the planchette or the pointer, beautiful walnut tree / oak tree type. Yeah, that's a walnut tree, and I don't know what this is. It looks a little bit more oaky to me, but oh well, it's pretty. It's pretty. So those are my spirit board. That's my spirit board. I've used spirit boards before in the past where I've just kind of drawn them up on paper and consecrated them, but I've got rid of all of those. And when I bought this beauty, so that's my spirit board. Next, I'll show you my. Obviously, we'll go through my tarot collection and my oracle collection. So we'll go through oracle first. So this is the Archangel Michael oracle, which I use quite often by Doreen Virtue. Beautiful kind of imagery and prayers and like their gold. Really, really nice. If anybody works with the archangels or works with angels, I highly recommend this oracle deck. Michael's messages tend to come through really clearly for me with this deck, so it's really great. Give me 1 second, my dryer has finished and it'll buzz for the rest of the day if I don't turn it off. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, so that was Archangel Michael. The next oracle deck that I have is the Gospel of Aradia, or the Gospel of Aradia, depends on how you pronounce. But these again are really beautiful. The imagery and the artwork of these cards is like incredible. It's a very kind of lifelike illustrations. I'm just trying to show you in the best kind of light. But they're really great, really, really great. I really like them. And those are the backs. So I've got the A. So it actually looks like a book. Like Aradia had written down a kind of physical gospel, and that would be her cover of her beautiful book. I like this deck as well because it comes with, like, the Archangel Michael deck comes with like prayers, and these ones come with like a little rhyme or a little poem that I've used actually as spells, which I think is really, really great. So yeah, that's based on the Gospel of Aradia. Next, I've got my tarot cards. Now, I've actually got 5 tarot decks in total. One of them lives in my car. It was just a cheap Rider-Waite rip-off deck that I use if I'm on the fly and want to, or people want me to read for them, which has been known. So I'll go through the ones that in order of what I kind of purchased and what I got. This deck doesn't actually have a name. It came in a set. It came in a set called A Tin of Tarot, and it was literally like a tin that had an accompanying book and these tarot cards. So the backs are purple with like Celtic knots. Yeah, they kind of look like Celtic knots on the back. And I'll just kind of show you the type of illustrations. It's probably more along the lines of a Rider-Waite kind of design and style, but they're a little bit more like woodcuts, I find, especially with the Major Arcana. It's Justice. So this is the deck that I kind of learnt to use. Not the best deck. I don't really use it as often now that I've got decks that I resonate better with. But, you know, if a client chooses to use that deck for their reading, then I'll read with it. Other than that, I don't really use it by choice, I guess. Just reading up on the comments. Cool. The next deck I got, which is the deck that I use most often and the deck that I resonate the best with, is the Robin Wood Tarot. Those are the backs, and again, another Celtic design. And the imagery and the illustrations in these cards is actually like just incredible. It's something that I can resonate really, really well with and give a really good reading with, just because the colors and the stories that the pictures kind of tell, I think is like incredible. So I really, really enjoy this deck. It's another one. You can also get a really good deck because it is so colorful, and you know, each deck has a story. Each card kind of has a story. You can kind of get a good overview of what the reading is going to be like very early on. Like after you've done your spread, you can kind of see where the reading's going to go, whether it's leaning to more towards like a positive or like a negative. Not necessarily a negative reading, but you know what the kind of situation is, whether it's more of a positive or negative situation that they kind of wanting to know about. So I love using those cards. The next deck that I purchased was the Ancient Italian. It's a low Scarado deck, I believe. And they're really gorgeous, like really gorgeous cards. Those are the backs. So this is your more traditional kind of tarot, which I think is like fabulous. Again, the colors are very vibrant, but with the minor arcana, there's literally just the symbols, so there's no real imagery for you to go off. And obviously the keywords are in all the titles are in Italian. But this is like a beautiful deck. Like it almost feels very kind of old worldy and like gypsy like to me. With the imagery and the way that it's drawn, and it's the deck. The cards themselves are in an off-white anyway, so they kind of almost looked antiqued a little bit anyway, which is really, really cool. But I love working with this deck. That it is like really. It is like really. I feel real like gypsy when I'm reading with it, and if anyone is Italian and is familiar with like the Scorpa cards, Italian, there's an Italian card game called La Scorpa or something, and the cards look very similar. A lot of Italians that I've read for have said that these cards remind them of the Scorpa cards. And so I bought that deck and this next deck that I'm going to show you at the same time. And this is the Wild Wood Tarot, which again is a beautiful, beautiful deck. That's the back. So again, that kind of Celtic kind of vibe, kind of Celtic druidy. But like I'll show you. That's one of them. The two of cups or two of vessels. The seer. Owen Lynch did an incredible review of these cards not long ago, which I recommend that you kind of look at, because she, if you are interested in purchasing this deck, she does a comparison of the first edition and this edition, which is the second edition, and it's really cool. I think it was Arwen. I'm pretty sure it was Arwen. I'll find the video and link it below. So those are my tarot decks. And that's everything, guys. That's all of my divination tools that I use and don't use, and some things that I have just because. I'm just kind of looking around to see if there's anything else, but there isn't. That's all of my tools. So tarot, oracle, pendulums, scrying mirrors, runes, crystal balls, and spirit boards. So I'll open it up now for you guys to ask any questions about my divination tools, or let me know what kind of divination tools you work with, or any questions in particular about mine. I'm just reading through the comments now while you guys think of some questions. I know I had one question from Random Witch, who's now back. Now, Random, your question was, what is my favorite divination tool? And I would probably say to you that it is probably, it's tarot. I would say it's probably the form of divination that I work best with. And I find it now, I can give kind of good kind of readings with tarot. And I like tarot. I think tarot is fun. I like how different tarot can be. Like you can do a reading for 50 people and every single one will be different, which is what I really love about tarot. And I'm a very visual person, so I love the visuals of the different decks and what the visuals can impact on the energies of the deck. I really love that. So I love working with different decks, and I love working with the individual stories and imagery of the deck. So I do really like the tarot. The tarot is probably my favorite. Random Witch, when did you first start working with divination? I probably started when I was young. Again, I did a live a couple of weeks ago where I was talking about simple spell work, and I had a book which is a children's book. It's called Wizardology, if anyone's aware of it or has read it. But it came with I think 6 or 8 like miniature kind of tarot cards, kind of oracle cards. And I used to, you know, sit in the playground and I used to read those cards to people, or people used to call me up on my house phone and like I'd give them readings about their situation, about their, you know, relationships, or with like the boy that they like have a crush on or whatever. So I started on my path of divination since I was young. So I'm probably going to say about 10 or 11 would be when I probably started on that path. Megan Schultz, where did you buy your spirit board? Megan, I bought my spirit board online. I bought it, so I originally saw a picture of this particular board somewhere out and about, and I tried and I looked through eBay, couldn't find it. I found similar ones with cats instead of the rabbits. And it was really difficult for me to actually find this particular one, and there was only one website, but I can't remember now whether it was from the UK or from America. But there was this one website. I've had it for years now, so I couldn't even tell you what it was called. But I bought it from that website, and they only had one left, and that was really the only website that I could find it at a price that I was willing to pay, because it was quite expensive. So yeah, I think your spirit board, like a lot of your tools in general, should resonate well with you. And this one, immediately, I'm like, I need that in my life. So that's why I had to hunt it down. Dylan Wilson, have you ever done water scrying before? I haven't. Dylan, I was talking with Elder Crow on my channel, the Big Mega 4-hour live chat. And water scrying was brought up, especially water scrying with an egg. I think you like crack an egg into the glass of water or something, and you kind of look at the different patterns and things that makes. And I'd never heard of that before, like before that day, before that discussion. So I'm really keen to kind of try that and see how that works. Random Witch, how accurate has your readings been, and has it ever blown your mind how accurate you are? Yeah, definitely. I would say that my readings are quite accurate at picking up on people's situations. What I'll do is I'll get my client to shuffle the deck that they choose out of my selection, and the one that they kind of felt most drawn to. And I'll get them to shuffle it and think about the situation, or think about a specific question or specific situation or whatever. And then I will do the spread. I don't really follow any particular spread. I just kind of do it intuitively. And then I'll kind of give them a brief overview of what I'm seeing. And then I'll ask them to give me a little bit of insight into their situation so that I can relate it back to their specific question or specific situation or whatever. But I've found that a lot of my clients have been happy with their readings, and they've been quite spot on, quite accurate. I've had people like burst into tears before. I've had people who I've read not knowing who they are, and kind of sticky situations have kind of come up, and I've had to kind of tiptoe around in a roundabout way to ask her if she, in this particular case, was seeing two people at the same time. And that was kind of a difficult thing to kind of get my head around on how do I say that this person's a little bit of a slut, basically. So that came up in a reading, and that's something that she hadn't told anyone. So there's for me as a reader, I'm quite happy with the feedback that I get from my clients. In a sense of myself, how accurate have my readings been for myself? I think when you read for yourself, there's an element of bias, and I don't read for myself very often. I would rather go to someone else. I would rather go to someone else to pay them to read for me than for me to read for myself, because I find reading for myself is kind of anticlimactic. Like, I'll lay out the cards and I'll just kind of look at them and be like, oh, okay, cool. There's no, when I'm reading for people, I, will tell them the story of the cards, and, there's a lot of explaining and telling and talking with clients, but for myself, it's just like, okay, done, cool, pack up, So, yeah, I find it anticlimactic, and I love supporting other psychics and witches and mediums and things like that to read for me. Has divination ever helped you find the next step in your path? Absolutely. And not necessarily my spiritual path, but my path, like my life path in general. Divination has really kind of shed some light on some things that I needed light shed, has given me some guidance. Archangel Michael and receiving his messages through the oracle cards and through his signs has really kind of helped me. So yeah, divination has definitely impacted my path, my life path as well. Labradorite Wolf asks if I use crystals when doing readings. If so, which ones? I do. I will generally kind of have a few crystals floating around, mostly kind of amethyst. Like, I've got this hunk of amethyst here that I'll bring along to my readings. I'll bring along my labradorite as well. This one here, I'm going to try to get it to flash for you. Don't know if it's going to. You can kind of see it. It doesn't do justice, but it's gorgeous. So I'll bring that one along as well. Oh, there you go. It's kind of a bit of a flash. And I've got another hunk of raw amethyst, which I kind of won't read without, kind of thing. I always kind of, it's always, when I'm reading, I'll either have it in my hand, or I'll have it on the table, or I'll have it somewhere kind of around me. So that's one of the things that I kind of one of the rituals that I have when I'm reading. And that's having this particular amethyst with me. Otherwise, some rose quartz, lapis, or clear quartz will come along with me as well. I'm gonna go, I'm just scrolling through the questions, guys. Another one from Random Witch. What do you do when you get blocked by a person that's asked you to read for them? That's definitely happened for me as well. The best kind of advice I can give is to just accept that they're not open to it, and accept and be confident in what you have to say. Some people will absolutely come along just to test you and will be completely blocked off. And you've just got to do your best as a reader to get some kind of information going with those cards or with whatever tool you're kind of using. And definitely tap into your, to your intuition, to your, psychic senses to get as much as you can from them, even if they're not giving you a lot back. It's definitely happened for me. One particular case was I was reading for one of my friends that I didn't know or had never met, and she wasn't very open to it, and it did reflect a lot in her reading. Her reading was very kind of jumbled, very sporadic. It was difficult for me to read for her because she just wasn't giving me anything. Even when I kind of asked for confirmation, she would be like, yeah, I guess, stuff like that. But you've just, in those situations, you've just really got to be confident in yourself as a reader and just say, well, this is it, kind of thing. Definitely boils down to you being confident enough as a reader to read in those situations. So that's probably the best advice I can give to you. But funnily enough, I did that initial reading for this particular girl, finished her reading, read for someone else, and then she came back. And this time she came back with a specific question that she wanted to be answered. And then from there on, the reading just really flowed for her, was making a lot more sense. Because she opened up with that particular question and wanting to know the answer to that particular question. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just people. It's just people. So you've got to be really confident in yourself as a reader to be able to deal with those situations, I think. Labradorite Wolf. Have you ever gotten a charm cast reading? If not, you've got a friend who does it. Wow. So I believe the charm cast reading, correct me if I'm wrong, but is that when you've got like little kind of trinkets and things in like a bag that you kind of throw out? Correct me if I'm wrong. Captain Adderall, any tips for using spirit boards? I've got a 2-part series on using spirit boards. So you're most welcome to have a look at those. Definitely, I don't recommend that people use a spirit board. If you want to, then, you're more than welcome to, but I don't really recommend it. I think that you've really got to be, and I will tell everyone, you've really got to know what you're doing to be using one. Is what I've got to say. So unless you're not completely confident or confident, or you're not completely comfortable in doing it, Captain, I wouldn't recommend you do it. Even after you've watched my video, give it a watch. There's two. There's part 1 and part 2. Give them a watch. Still do your research. Still jump online. Do a research. The more you know about them, the better prepared you can be. Willow Moonshine, has runes ever been an interest for you, and have I ever looked into them? You probably missed it, Willow, but I've got my little baggie of rune stones here. They're the Elder runes, the Germanic runes, and mine are made from amethyst. And the reason why I bought them pre-made in amethyst is because I connect very well with amethyst. It's my birthstone and I just love it anyway. And I bought it for the kind of psychic kind of qualities that it has, and the spiritual qualities, to better be able to read with the runes. But as I said when I was kind of showing them, I don't really use the runes a lot. I use them more in spell work personally, but I will read runes for clients if they purchase a rune reading on my Etsy store, or if they ask me to. But yeah, I am more inclined to use runes in my spell work. there's another set of runes called the Witch's Runes, and I think there's 13 of them, and they are something that I want to make. I think like any tool, regardless of whether it's divinatory or magical, anything that you make yourself. Oh no, Willow, that's fine. I'm happy to talk about it. Any tool that you make yourself has got your own energy in it and will work better for you. Like you will resonate better with it, and both of you, you're kind of sharing the same energy, so it's both kind of free flowing through you. So it is really, really good if you do make your own tools, regardless of whether they're for your craft or for your divinatory practices. But I definitely do want to make my own witches' runes one day. I'm not sure what I'm going to make them, whether I'm going to make them out of wood or if I'm going to make them out of stone. I'm not too sure. Just reading the comments. Okay, thank you, Labradorite Wolf, for confirming. So yeah, the charm casting that Labradorite was talking about is like little charms and little trinkets that are kind of cast, and each trinket kind of has a meaning, I think. I haven't looked into that. I've obviously heard of it, but I haven't looked into it. It sounds quite interesting. Another thing I would love to learn how to do is like bone casting and things like that. I think would be really cool. So yeah, just kind of looking at what is happening over here, guys. Does anybody have any more questions about any of my particular tools or anything like that? Let me know. There's probably a delay, so I'm not sure what's happening. But yeah, my voice is getting quite raspy, as you can probably hear. I was saying before, I woke up with an incredibly sore throat this morning, so I'm not sure how I'm feeling about it. I'm not sure how long this chat is going on for. But if nobody has any more questions, I'm going to call it a day. Dylan has one more question. Would you use shells in divination and scrying? Yeah, so again, shells, cowrie shells, I believe, are used in lots of different traditions for divination. Again, I think it would be along the similar lines of bone divination. I'm not very well versed in it at all, so I don't know much about it. So I don't really have anything to kind of tell you guys about it, but I would definitely look into using shells in divination. Thank you, Random Witch. Thank you for being a moderator. We've been lucky to have no trolls, probably thanks to you. Your non-trolling energy has just been emitted from this video, and no troll has ever dared to come in and abuse us all. Willow, I have used tea leaves before. I have definitely read tea leaves before. Again, it's not something that I use very often, but it is just kind of just a fun thing. It's more of like just a fun thing for me to do. Is to kind of read people's tea leaves if we're drinking loose leaf tea. Good night, Illusionist Day, and thank you again, Random. Much love to you. That reminds me, though, as a kind of a fun little thing to do. I forgot to show you I also read with regular playing cards, which I'll quickly give you a little bit of a squiz at. Again, this is something that's a little bit more fun for me. And I just kind of write them, like the kind of meanings and keywords on the cards themselves. But this is, yeah, like just like a fun little kind of divinatory thing, which I think is pretty cool and pretty fun to do. So yeah, that's probably, yeah, I can't believe I forgot about my playing cards, but yeah, that's probably my last tool. My last divination tool for you guys. So yeah. Anyway, thank you very much everyone for joining me and looking and talking about my divination tools. Hopefully you'll see me later in the week, maybe not, because as I said in the start of this video, I've got oodles and oodles and oodles and oodles of university homework that has to be done by the end of the week. So I might disappear for like the rest of the week, or I might not, considering I'm here now, you know. Hashtag procrastination kills. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining me. Many blessings, much love, and blessed day.